Welcome to the SwitchClicksPodcast, episode 18, recorded on November 8th, 2020. In this episode, we're going to talk about the launch of the 9th generation, the Xbox Series X and S, and the PlayStation 5. My name is Dakota, and today I'm joined by Nathan.
Hello there.
We'll just get started with talking about the Series X. So by the time you're hearing this, the Xbox Series X and S will be released. So the launch lineup for the games, that's always the most crucial part of a console. Well, you're going to buy a console, you're going to play the games. The only problem is with the Xbox is there's not that comes to mind, there's not any new games specifically built for the Xbox Series X.
Everything is kind of just appealing more towards PlayStation 5.
Now they are really pushing marketing with the Xbox. They're including Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Cyberpunk 2077, and then they're also pushing Halo Infinite a lot, even though that game was delayed.
Oh man, that game, there's a lot of worries for that.
Yeah, I think the head of their head producer or something was just laid off or something.
Oh shoot, I did not hear about that.
At least there was something big in the managerial part of it. So that's why people are worried that the game's not going to be that good. The marketing around the Xbox Series X has a very almost egotistical part of it.
Yeah, they're back at it. Yeah, they're back at the whole hardware thing. We're the most powerful, because it does load games faster than the PS5.
Yeah, I think IGN recently put out something where they were loading, I don't remember what game, I think it was Destiny 2, and the SSD on the Xbox Series X did a lot better. I think it was like a solid 15 or 20-second difference on a 2-minute loading screen. So
Oh my god, that is that's insane. I didn't realize it was that big.
pretty big difference. I think Destiny 2 doesn't really have the best loading ever, and it is a cross-platform game.
A PC game, basically.
I bet if they compare games that almost have the same specs, but are like mainly built for each console, it'll be a lot better.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm kind of glad. So Xbox, compared to the launch of the Xbox One, I think they're really smart right now, and they're not pushing any of the Netflix and entertainment part of the Xbox. They're really
Yeah.
just pushing, hey, we are the strongest option you can have, other than a PC, but and we have the games to build it up. Uh, but I think it's a good idea if Xbox is a more popular console. Not many people bought the Xbox One, so there's a bunch of games on the Xbox One that they're optimizing to put over to the Xbox Series X that new players can definitely play.
Provided it falls in there another Nintendo Switch situation where Nintendo's basically pulling off Wii U ports. I guess that kind of, if Microsoft does that successfully, perhaps they have a chance at it. But then they're still going to have some complaints about old games being re-released.
There is definitely some confusion on that part because the games that are made for Xbox Series X, when you buy them physically on the box, it only says Xbox. It doesn't say Xbox One, doesn't say Xbox
Oh
Series
my
X. Some of them have a
gosh.
sticker that says Smart Transfer or something, and that's their branding
Oh,
for an upgrade to get it on your Series X. Um, some games it's free, and some games it's an extra $10.
I guess that just revolves around paddle bows. I'm not exactly familiar with.
I don't remember which specific games, but I think it might have been Cyberpunk might have been one of the examples. So if you bought it for I guess $59.99 in the US, you bought it on your Xbox One. Once the Xbox Series X comes out, you can play it on that, but you have to pay an extra $10, which is a little scummy, I think, but
Yeah, probably could have been free, considering backwards compatibility has been sort of a thing already.
so on the other side of the console war, I guess you could say, we have PlayStation 5. It'll be releasing this Thursday, I guess, the day after you'll be hearing this. And their launch lineup, I'd say, is a lot stronger. I guess anything is better than zero. So
I guess there's also the third-party developers inching towards the PlayStation 5 just because of how popular the PlayStation 4 was.
Yeah, they're really running off of the hype that all the PlayStation 4 players will move over to the PlayStation 5. I definitely think it's working.
It's definitely it's almost a given because no, like there's already enough neglect from Japan for the Xbox Series, or at least the entire Xbox consoles as a whole. Yeah, they seriously won't be able to stand a chance against Sony.
Especially not with their launch lineup, which includes the new Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah, everyone really liked the Spider-Man. Everyone really liked Spider-Man PS4.
I think I saw a statistic. It said that the game would take 15 hours to finish, which is a pretty big for DLC.
Yeah, it's quite reasonable.
And then they also have a bundle which includes Spider-Man Remastered, which it looks a lot better.
I beg to differ. The only thing I dislike is the reskin of Peter Parker. Everything else looks so amazing.
They also have Demon Souls and the new Sackboy game coming out, or a Little Big Planet 4 in my eyes. So the marketing behind the PlayStation 5, I honestly haven't seen too much. It's a lot of brand recognition, I'm saying. Uh, they're usually they're releasing trailers for the games and then putting the PlayStation 5 at the end with the release date. Um, one of the more controversial ones, I think we mentioned a few episodes ago, that I think Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Zombies are exclusive to PS5.
There was a mode within Zombies that is exclusive for 1 year for the PS4 and PS5. It's the first time they've ever done a 1 year timed exclusive thing, as opposed to the traditional 1 month.
Is it a cool game mode that everybody kind of wants, and then they were disappointed that it was exclusive, or is it just kind of just an extra thing?
I believe it's an extra thing, but it did look pretty cool to many players. It's like I believe it's Battle Royale Zombies,
Oh,
which what players were really excited for, and then they were ultimately disappointed. They heard that it was exclusive for 1 whole year. Surprisingly enough, even the PS4 and PS5 players were disappointed to hear that too, considering the game is crossplay.
I think that's a really strong thing for PlayStation to have because by the time Xbox will have that game mode, we'll have the next Call of Duty.
Exactly. That's the type of thing that it's good and it's a good and bad thing.
Well, to me it really doesn't matter because I'll be getting one of these consoles in like 2 to 3 years when they're 50% off. So,
Or when they actually have a big library.
and what Sony is doing differently is they have actually two different consoles because they have the PlayStation 5 regular and then the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition, which is a lot different than what Xbox is doing. They're doing the X and the S.
Actually, I believe that's similar. S is an all digital version of the X, but it's also way less powerful. I think
It can actually, I think I saw a screenshot. It can still ray trace really well with Watch Dogs Legion.
it
Um,
can't run many games at 4K like the way that the X does.
yeah, but who really does an average consumer have a 4K TV? No. So 1080p
Actually,
will work.
well, I suppose yeah, but a lot of people are getting suckered into that whole 4K bandwagon.
Yeah, that could change in because of Black Friday coming up. So which do you think will win this console war?
It's difficult to say because PS5 is like okay, so the PS4 success going to set a huge amount of expectations, the same way that let's say the Wii did or the PS2 did for the PS3, and it's really hard to follow up on that. I feel like maybe the PS5 might trip a little bit. I mean, they did introduce some cool stuff like adaptive triggers, and I believe all these newer features like HD Rumble or something. I'm still gonna go with PlayStation 5. I think Microsoft has they have the Game Pass to sort of back them up on that whole situation.
I do definitely say that the console wars aren't really a thing anymore. I think that Xbox, they're definitely marketing towards a more casual audience that they can bring in, and they can have a good quality console, and they can just sell you Game Pass. And they have thousands of games they can just throw on Game Pass whenever, and then they promise that all their future titles will be also on Game Pass.
It's kind of like a gray area between Nintendo and Sony when you think about it.
Because Sony, they're definitely marketing towards the hardcore console gamer fanboy that will shell out money for anything on PlayStation. Not to call them out. Right when the launch starts and we get sales numbers of stuff, I think the PlayStation 5 will definitely outperform the Xbox, only because of the hype of the PlayStation. Sorry, yeah, the PlayStation 5 will be better, but only the hype of PlayStation 4 will bring that more because of the install base.
Yeah. When you think about it, the only reason the Xbox 360 was successful was because the PS3 was so damn expensive. That will never happen with this generation anymore. Definitely going to be Sony because they had a big following.
I definitely see that PlayStation, they've a bit of an ego with their, I guess, their planning on their marketing side, I guess. They literally said, hey, we're not going to have that many consoles at launch, which is really weird to say. You shouldn't do that because that'll turn off people to pre-order your console.
And then they'll go the other one.
Yeah, and then they made a lot of weird choices with the actual console itself. It's massive, first of
Yeah,
all.
what the heck were they thinking?
I don't think there's any reason it should be that big other than having massive fans.
That's just more than the reason for Google to bash them for their huge size.
But it does, I will say, when you see it in your living room, and if they eventually put out like a space black or whatever, that'll look really cool, I'd say, next to other entertainment systems. And then the other thing that they released, I don't know if you saw this, but they released a video on how to put your PS5 on its side, so you can put it like laying down. It was a 20-minute video. You unscrewed the thing on the bottom, and then
What the heck?
you take off the white part on one side, and then you remove the bottom part, you put it back, and then you have to put that circle plate that was on the bottom of that part, you have to stick it back onto the side. Um, Almost it looks like you're drilling into the side of your console, but you're not.
What the hell? That's
And then you're done.
20-minute video on something that could be done in like 5 seconds with every other console there is.
And then on Twitter, Xbox tweets how to put your Xbox Series X on its side. And it's a 3-second video of some guy just taking the console and putting it on side. That was the funniest stuff I've ever seen on Twitter.
Oh my gosh.
I think this generation might be the generation of mid upgrades. Like every 2 years or so, they're gonna release an upgrade. Because
I suppose.
Xbox could definitely keep going with the series letter.
What's
Xbox
next?
Series X2, Xbox Series 11, Xbox whatever. They could
Yeah.
go anywhere. But the
Hmm.
PlayStation, they'll probably just go with the stereotypical PlayStation 5 Slim, PlayStation 5 Pro. How Nintendo could, I guess, market themselves to maybe compete with the new consoles, if they need to anyway.
People are really asking for a Switch Pro or a more powerful Switch, something along the lines of that. Because they're so scared that developers would have a difficult time porting over games from PS5 and Series X.
Well, Nintendo is always innovative with code, I guess, almost, but not with the Wii U. That was a bump. If they just can't take any weird steps, I don't think they should. If they release a Nintendo Switch Pro, they need to market it in a certain way. They need a game to push it, which I think could be Breath of the Wild 2 or Metroid Prime 4 whenever those come out, which could be next year. I'm thinking Breath of the Wild 2 is in 2 years.
It's really hard to say next year because the whole anniversary stuff coming around.
That's why I'm thinking they'll probably just do a remake next year. They won't put any new consoles out, maybe a new color. Switch Pro will probably come in 2022, 2023. Reggie said that they're going to try to keep the Switch branding through 2022. And they're not going to keep a 5-year-old console.
That I guess. Well, I don't know if it would be. It'd be probably too early to become a successor. I suppose.
I think Nintendo could definitely throw some punches. I don't think they should need to directly compete with the newer consoles. people from my work, they're like, okay, the pre-orders went up, I think, this morning actually for Canada on Toys R Us, EB Games, and Best Buy, just with the last wave of pre-orders. And like 4 people from my work, they put an alarm for themselves to get the PlayStation 5. So people are definitely expecting it to not have enough. But for me, when the Switch came out, I just waited maybe 2 weeks, and I had a guy at my market. He just got the Switch for me. He just found it. I got
That,
lucky.
that was a lucky one
But yeah,
for
for
a whole
me, and I'm
year.
pretty sure for you, we're definitely gonna be waiting a couple years, and then we'll go
Yeah.
back and we'll have a bunch of games to play, especially on the PlayStation.
Yeah. I'm definitely looking
'Cause
to get a PlayStation 5 if that was it.
yeah, because my logic is like, okay, they confirmed that, okay, there's 2 Spider-Man games. There's
Yep.
going to be a second God of War game, so I can play the first and second. There, I can play both The Last of Us if I need to.
Apparently Genshin Impact is getting a PS5 version.
Dude, imagine that game with ray tracing. Oh my gosh, dude.
It'll look beautiful. An already good looking game looks insane.
Yeah, that's true. But on the Xbox side, the only thing really pushing me there is Halo.
Like what? Wait, you can play it on PC? Wait, can you actually?
I'm not sure about Halo Infinite. I'm gonna say most likely you can play it on PC. But the Halo Master Chief Collection, yeah, that's available on PC.
Yeah. I suppose that's why.
And my logic is right now too. I just recently got a good Windows computer, and there I have a Game Pass Ultimate, so I can just that includes Game Pass on Xbox and Game Pass on PC. So I can download any game that can run on my Xbox onto my computer and just play those games. So if there's any
Yeah,
cool
that's
games that I want to play that are exclusive to Xbox, I could just play it on my PC.
like why wait? Why like buy the Xbox Series X if you could just wait maybe a few years? Actually play those games on something they can actually play on.
Yeah, even if this, I think my computer is pretty top notch, so I think it'll last me
Mm.
probably like 5 years until the NVIDIA 5040 comes out or whatever. What if they do Xbox Series V?
What would that be?
That would be double the size of the PlayStation 5 and more powerful than any graphic card available in the market.
Oh my gosh. When you said V, I immediately thought of VR.
Oh, true. I think Microsoft has that on PC.
Yeah, I guess, well, if they, like, when you think about it, they could just bring their PC version onto Xbox Series X and actually make it compatible. Make things a lot more interesting for sure.
They should probably do it through Bluetooth maybe, and
Yeah.
oh, dude, that would be smart.
Yeah.
You could run it all on your Xbox Series X or V or whatever, and then the headset would be super tiny because it's not running on any fans or anything. It's just the
Yeah.
screen. And maybe
It's just streaming onto there. Yeah.
they could, yeah. Honestly, that would be really smart.
Be a really cool idea. If they do that, imagine if they did that with a possible Connect adapt, add a Connect on there again.
I feel like they would need like a lot better connect, maybe like a 2 camera system. But nowadays, the headset, the cameras are usually on the headset nowadays. Thank you for joining us in our discussion of the launch of the Xbox Series X and S and PlayStation 5. We would also love it if you could join us on Twitter and listen to our future episodes on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, and Stitcher. Join our Discord for insight on future episodes, and see you next time on the Switch Clicks Podcast.